She'll be in great hands, sir.
Oh, she ain't gonna be in his hands. Not those soft, well-manicured hands. Not passing my wife off to this man. Good-looking man like this that's gonna obviously be charming. Why can't it be his ugly ass? Why can't he go? If it was him, no problem.
Hey guys, we just saw Netflix's The Man from Toronto.
That's right, everybody. Does this new action assassin comedy movie slay it? Or is it just plain torture? Stick around, because we're about to find out.
All right, Billy, The Man from Toronto, eh?
We didn't hear any A's in the movie, though.
No A's.
Yeah, where the hell were the A's at from Man from
weren't.
Toronto? No, I mean, he didn't even act like he was from Toronto.
They weren't like building up the
Canadian vibe at all.
accent
no
or
Canadian
none
vibe
of
at
that
all in
stuff,
this.
man.
No.
What's up with that? That's disappointing.
It was disappointing.
Is there a Toronto in America I don't know about or something?
There may be. It must be because he was totally American.
Yeah, he was.
But that's all right because it was Woody Harrelson, so we'll give him a pass on it.
Woody Harrelson, Kevin Hart. Who
we
else?
Had a little Kaley Cuoco going on in it. That's really it for actual, kind of big type actors right now. But I tell you what, man, they did a good job.
Yeah, it's almost like Woody Harrelson's replaced Wesley Snipes with Kevin Hart.
Yeah, man.
I
love
those movies. I love me some White Men Can't Jump, some
dude.
Money Train.
Oh yeah, classic.
So I'm interested in another buddy kind of movie.
Yeah, well, you know what? And most Kevin Hart's movies are buddy comedies,
that's
right?
True. That's true. So he's a perfect fit.
Oh yeah, these two dudes together, man, they slayed it.
Who doesn't like Kevin Hart? The man's just hilarious.
And who didn't like Woody Harrelson? You put both those dudes together, and you got one hell of a movie.
Getting kind of old, but he still got it. I guess.
He still got it, man. He's still getting the young chicks too, man. Gave him some Kaley Cuoco in the movie, so he's got it, man. But yeah, did I tell you, man? It was a good flick. It was a good flick.
Yeah, think so. So it starts off with like an interrogation scene. What'd you think of that?
Oh, dude, what you got to do, like, basically pissing his pants because, you got the man from Toronto who is supposedly, like, the best interrogator.
Mystery man.
Who's, like, supposedly, like, the best interrogator in the world, and he gets called in for the hard jobs, right, for the tough nuts to crack. And he walks in and just tells this dude a sob story about his grandpa getting mauled to death by a grizzly bear and how the grizzly bear peeled his grandfather's skin off. And then he pulls out his knives like, yeah, that's what I'm going to do to you. I'm going to start with your eyes and peel your skin. And he's like, all right, I'll talk.
Now, I've had some counter interrogation training, and I've also been on the other side. I spent 6 months in an Afghan prison, so I'm familiar with this game. And I got to tell you, it's not how we do it in real life. Normally, torture is the worst form of interrogation because it produces unreliable results.
Yeah, they're going to tell you whatever you
want
want.
And this guy is threatening torture. His victim tells him something, and he gets killed immediately. How do you know he's not lying?
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
What if he was lying?
Because as soon as Woody Harrelson gets the information out of him, the freaking dude pops him.
Yes, and that's why you don't do stuff like you should at least say, like, hey,
let's verify this.
If you're lying to me, I'm going to kill your family and everyone you know.
Exactly.
But no, that's not how it works in this. For being the master interrogator of torture, I'm not that impressed right off the bat.
Oh, yeah. But hey, evidently it works in the movie.
But this is an action comedy, so not to be taken seriously.
Exactly. Exactly.
But, yeah, I like the premise, though.
That was a cool premise, dude. And the one thing you never kind of get, and I'm guessing it was fake, but which for me would have been like the perfect cover. So, after, one of the killings happens or after some of it happens with Kevin Hart in it, Woody Harrelson comes in and flashes a badge like he's part of the FBI and walks onto the crime scene. And I was like, damn, what a great cover that would be, right? He's an actual FBI agent and then he's a freaking undercover freaking assassin behind that. I was like, damn, that's pretty cool. But then you never really found out that's
Well, we kind of see that in Now You See Me.
Yeah, it's true.
Mark Ruffalo was doing that.
Yeah, that's true.
But this movie is part Hitman video game and part John Wick.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, man.
Kind of merged together
in
an action comedy movie.
Yeah, and then maybe even a little part of what was that movie about that kid that was it was almost like a video game type movie where he had Kevin had all these ex-boyfriends coming in and fighting him and stuff,
Scott Pilgrim?
Yeah, Kaley Scott Pilgrim. Because you didn't have
Pilgrim.
Yeah, because you didn't have the man from Miami, the man from Moscow. You had all these other men from other places, coming in and coming after him, so kind of almost like a little Scott Pilgrim thrown in there as well. And they all had their own little different fighting styles and techniques. You had the man from Tokyo. So yeah, I thought it was kind of cool.
So Woody Harrelson's the man from Toronto, also known as Randy. And then we got Kevin Hart's character, Teddy.
Teddy, who's just a bum, pretty much.
He's kind of like a marketing guy trying to market a gym and his own...
in his own little line of crap.
Non-contact boxing. That's his
Yeah,
name.
we tries non-contact boxing. He tries some crappy makeshift pull-up bar that he made. He tries all these other little gimmicks. He's basically like a YouTube gimmick guy, right? He's trying to sell his gimmicks on YouTube, and just none of them kind of pan out.
He's got like one video and it's got like 9 views or something like, but
I
three
got
comments.
I got 3 comments.
The first workout video, just to get a response. 3 comments. And the questions are simple. They're like, what is this?
He's like, and that's a good question. I'm gonna tell you what this is.
But this movie essentially boils down to one thing. A low toner situation.
That's right.
It's all about the low toner.
Right. Oh yeah, man. Yeah, so the way Kevin Hart plays into this, he's saying, evidently he's fumbled every one of his wife's birthdays, before. So finally he's got a good one planned this time, but when he printed out where they're going to go, the toner was low, so he can't quite tell what the address is. So he ends up showing up at a place that Woody Harrelson was supposed to go to interrogate somebody. He gets kind of bamboozled into interrogating this guy, because otherwise he'd have been killed if he didn't, and somehow manages to get the info out of this guy. So now they think he's the man from Toronto, and Woody Harrelson's not. So then Woody Harrelson try to track him down, and then you get all kinds of crazy shenanigans that happen.
He walks in there like, you're early. And he's like, well, if you're on time, you're late.
And the dude's like, okay, well, hey, I got to, and then of course he's like, oh, is this all your gear? And Kevin Hart's like, yeah, it's my gear. So Kevin Hart goes to the bathroom where dude's pulling out like sex toys and freaking and lube, and he's like, what the hell? Like he's thinking he's going to use this to interrogate the guy.
He's like, let me take you to the basement. He's like, what, you got a game room down there with a ping pong table? He gets down there, some dude's like hanging from like the ceiling or whatever.
He's like, whoa, I'm in the wrong place. They're like, no, you can't leave until you get the information out of this dude. And then, of course, he finagles his way through it. But,
so I love that setup, and Kevin Hart
dude.
plays into it like beautifully.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, that guy, he just, the way he flows in those freaking comedy roles, man, and just the way he can, and especially how fast he talks during a lot of it, too, man. It's like, damn, that dude's good. He's a great actor, because, I mean, most people will probably fumble over their lines a million times when they got to talk that fast, and we got to do so much improvising, and what he's doing there in those scenes. I was like, man, it's just really cool how that dude's able to do that.
I even love some of the action scenes. Like, as he's interrogating him, the FBI like does a raid, and you just see a flashbang like coming down the stairs, and it like hits the ground. They look at it, and then at the same time, like a dynamic entry happens. Like the walls like get tore off, and then you got like an FBI HRT SWAT team comes in there and like secures the room and stuff like that. And I was like, dang, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was
you don't
awesome.
See too many scenes like that in a movie done like that, and that's pretty realistic. How
you
do
say,
something
exactly,
like that.
yeah. And that's one of the few times you see it realistically like that, right? Because typically it's just crazy off the wall shit. That's like, dude, they wouldn't do it that way. But yeah, no, that was a cool scene, definitely. And
I also love after that, like, they're like, don't worry, we're gonna protect your wife. You need to pretend you're this dude. And he's like, we got this dude assigned. He's gonna like chauffeur your wife. He's like, this dude ain't doing anything with my wife.
You got Romeo here, hell no.
He's like, this dude is too good looking. He ain't doing. You ain't doing none of that. With
How about this ugly MF right here? You tell me he's gonna watch my wife? We good. He's like, this guy,
this dude, fine, not this guy. Oh, this movie has like so many funny scenes that with Kevin Hart. I mean, he brings the comedy.
Oh yeah. Well then he kind of wasn't far off, right? Because then the dude is kind of like whining and dying the wife, and he's all like speaking Spanish and freaking taking her dancing. And all this shit. So, Kevin Hart's like, you did. She's like, come on, baby, let's go dance. He's like, she's like, Romeo taught me to tango. He's like, Romeo taught you what? He's like, well, you gonna unlearn that. He's like, I'm gonna teach you something else. You gotta unlearn that.
I love too, like he's getting ready to go meet this woman to pretend he's the man from Toronto, and like he's like, what do you got to like talk to you? And they hand him like a little tracking device. He puts it in his pocket. He's like, this is what my life is thinking. He's like, that's top quality. He's like, you're right there in his pocket.
Oh yeah.
Now I don't know how they lost him in that little shuffle thing.
No, I don't
they have a whole FBI team, and they don't even like do anything.
Oh, he must have dished the tracker.
Yeah, they don't do anything brilliant. They just like, he dumped the tracker. He's in like the yellow van or whatever at this point.
Well, and it's funny because how well they portray the FBI in the beginning in that initial scene, right?
Yeah, with the dynamic entry and stuff.
And then the rest of them make them idiots, It's like complete idiots the rest of the movie. Like in the beginning, they're shit hot. They got their stuff together. They're doing it the exact right way. Then the rest of the movie, they're just fumbling around like morons. So it's like, what the hell?
So they take him to a plane, and then the man from Toronto actually sneaks in on that. And this is another like cool action scene on the plane.
That was awesome, yeah. That was really cool. Dude, especially the way when the freaking the glass gets shot out of the one and he shoves that dude's face against it. I was like, that's awesome.
Yeah, there's some there's a lot of good comedy and action sprinkled all throughout this movie.
Oh, yeah.
And it's
Oh, dude.
it's the right kind of pacing. It's it's a full 2 hour movie,
Yeah.
but like it goes by pretty quick
Oh,
because
exactly.
they're constantly throwing like different stuff at you.
Oh yeah, and then some of the stuff to me that was kind of unrealistic was, especially towards the end.
Some of the stuff was
So some of the fight scenes at the end when Kevin Hart's like really getting into it and going to town when he had already said I'd never been in a fight my boy. the one fight he said he'd been in was with a girl that he accidentally punched in the face.
He's like, someone was pulling on my backpack. I turned around and clocked him.
So the way he's handling himself in these fights at the end is like, come on now, this dude never been to fight his life, but he's able to hold his own here.
You ever been in a fight? He's like, yeah. Let me tell you about
punched her in her face.
I love when Woody Harrelson's like choking him. He's like, answer me. And he's like,
Answer me.
Oh man, or like whatever. So they're in the plane. So they're in the plane scene. He kills everybody, including the pilots. They're like, oh shit. So Woody Harrelson's trying to fly this plane, so he kind of crash lands it, and then he blows it up. And then Kevin Hart's like, man, we blew up a plane. And Woody Harrelson's like, you didn't do shit. I blew up a plane. I blew up a plane.
Oh man, yeah, that was a good one.
Oh yeah.
And then like Woody Harrelson's talking to him in the elevator, and he like lets one slip. He's like, he's like farts out of nowhere.
He's like, oh, sorry about that.
You're going to go in there and you're going to give him your scariest look and you're going to complete the mission or you have no idea what I'm going to do to you.
My bad.
And then they have the another interrogation scene where like Kevin Hart's pretending to be the man from Toronto again, and Woody Harrelson's coaching him up these time, and he's like in his ear and coaching him through what he's got to do.
He's like, and there was 4 dudes, and he's got to figure out which one's the right guy. Like, holy crap!
Yeah, that puking was hilarious.
I mean, because he's like puking in their mouth. That dude like has his mouth open. He's like puking in his mouth. I was like, oh man.
Oh man.
Oh, what a great scene.
And then it takes it to another level because now we get introduced from the man from Miami.
Yeah.
And this dude's kind of badass, just like Woody Harrelson's Randy character.
And we watch this dude beat the hell out of a guy with a golf club and then turn the golf club into a rifle and pop another dude like 100 yards away. But, and of course the handler's thinking Woody Harrelson's losing it because he's already, kind of screwing things up with Kevin Hart. So she calls this other dude in to get the job done right. So you got kind of Woody Harrelson and the man from Miami now competing, trying to get this freaking job done because it's $2 million payment. But yeah, man, I could tell you, like, I laughed my ass off during a lot of this movie. I enjoyed a lot of the fight scenes. Dude, some of the fight scenes were hilarious. Like when the dude from Tokyo hits him with the car. He's like, I gotta go finish off this poser.
Now I will say, near the end, it kind of
it
goes off the deep end and gets crazy.
Oh yeah,
and that's where it's fun and it's good action, but it kind of loses me because these two guys, let's not forget at the end, like one guy just got beat with a golf club. Both these guys are shot at this point.
Get shot in the ass.
But they're still carrying on. Well, Woody Harrelson got shot in the leg, his character.
But you see movies, that happens in movies all the time.
They act like they never got hurt whatsoever. Like, this dude gets beat with a golf club and he's walking around fine the next scene.
But how many movies do that though, man? Where you get the hero just getting the hell beat out of him and he still manages to freaking run around and kill everybody like it's nothing.
It happens a lot, but it gets ridiculous at this point.
Oh yeah, it does.
The cops don't even react to stuff. Like there's like a whole town like in a firefight.
No
one cares.
Still a cop car.
So he parks a car on like the railroad tracks.
That was awesome.
And I'm like, who the hell parks a car on a railroad track? I'd be so pissed.
Oh, dude. That scene was awesome.
Because it's not just the car.
No, because when you saw where he parked there, you're like, oh, this ain't gonna be good. This ain't gonna be good. And it keeps showing it like in the background while he's talking to his wife. It's like, that was hilarious, man. I was like, oh.
And the car has like the trunk's full of money, so
right, $2 million worth of money.
So yeah.
Oh, that was great.
But man, how Woody Harrelson and Kevin Hart play off each other.
Dude, dude, they have great freaking charisma in this, or great chemistry in this together, man. It was just perfect. Like I said, it was just like any other buddy movie you've seen. Him with Wesley Snipes or Kevin Hart and some of his other ones, man. Just perfect chemistry with these two dudes, and just awesome. I mean, they definitely made this movie for sure.
So this is fun, entertaining. It kind of reminds me a little bit of the same tone of Red Notice. This is a different movie than that, but the same tone. It's fun and lighthearted and stuff like that.
Yeah, because I mean, this movie, it's very clear who the villains and who the good guys are for the most part. You know, as a Red Notice, you really don't figure that out towards the end. But yeah, no, you're absolutely right, man.
And you kind of see where this is going to go, probably like a quarter of the way into it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I guess you're kind of meant to in this, just just because I mean, it's just meant to be a fun.
You're just along for the ride.
Exactly. And what a hell of a ride it was, man. It was good.
So, what do you rate this then?
I'm gonna give it an 8, man. It was good. It was a good Netflix movie, probably one of the better ones we've seen recently, I think. And I enjoyed it, man. This movie's an 8 for sure. Easy.
I enjoyed it. I definitely recommend it, and I'm gonna give it a 7, just because like it's so unrealistic and so goofy. I have a hard time rating that really high, but it's fun, entertaining. You should check it out, especially being a Netflix movie. So.
Excellent Netflix movie, man. Netflix blew it out of the park with this one.
Yeah, and I don't think anyone's going to walk away from this not being entertained, just because like there's so many good laughs in this.
Well, I mean, and like you said earlier, who doesn't like Kevin Hart and Woody Harrelson, man? You throw those two dudes in a movie together, and you're gonna get.
You put Kevin Hart in an awkward situation, he's going to excel.
Exactly. Absolutely, man.
Just from that, never box at me again without actually punching me in the face.
That was awesome, man. But yeah, hey, seriously, we had a great time watching this movie. Friggin', good last. And for a 2-hour movie, you wouldn't have noticed it because it just went by so quickly and it just flows so well. Great flick. Definitely check it out. And please let us know what you think about it. We'd love to hear your thoughts on it. And as always, please hit that like and subscribe button, and we will check you guys at our next review.
See you guys. Colonel Marin.
Or Marin, yeah, that was it. Yeah, Marin. Marin here. Yeah, Colonel Marin here. And he didn't sound Canadian, so how's he from? He sounded American, but he's from Toronto.
Well, it tied with that story of the lake and the bear, so they're like, you gotta be from Canada.
That's right. That's right, everybody. Does this new Netflix... Damn.
Does this new Netflix... Does it blend?
Does it blend? That's right, everybody. Does this new comedy, assassin, killer, thriller, Manila... I had it in my head, man.
What the hell you're saying?
I had it in my head.
Muhammad Ali story?
Thriller, Manila.